Hello, Thrivers. It's time for Monday motivation. We'll get started now. My name is Terry Stirk, and I'm excited to be here with you today. It's my favorite time of the week is to spend time with you. If we haven't met, I will tell you a little about myself. I am a two-time survivor of triple-negative breast cancer. I'm now 11 years out from the second time. I've been through many situations that left a traumatic mark on my body, on my heart, and my soul. I now serve women who've dealt with trauma, which includes breast cancer. I'm so glad you're here today. Let me start with a question. Have you ever felt stuck as though your life is defined by what's happened to you? It's more than just cancer. We all have big lives and lots happening, good and bad. Maybe your circumstances, past experiences, or other unknown future, maybe they're holding you back. I've been there, so I understand. I've been through numerous seasons that felt overwhelming. Every plan I had fell short, or uncertainty bounded. I kept saying, why is this happening to me? Why is everything so hard? But then I heard something that shifted my mindset. What if this isn't happening to you, but rather for you? The question changed everything. Today we'll talk about how changing how we see our lives can actually change our lives and make them better. It's definitely not magic, and it doesn't erase challenges, but it transforms how we approach them. By the end of our time together, I hope you'll leave with practical tools to reframe your mindset and take the next step on your journey, your healing journey. I learned about reframing and I used it to transform my life. In my younger years, I could always see the positive in every situation, person, or event. Then as I grew older and life happened, I saw the benefits of looking for the positive to get through the dark times. Now, this doesn't mean everything is rainbows and unicorns. My daughter noticed too. She often said, "Why are you always so positive?" But I was positive because that's a better way to look at the world, even when things seem dire. Reframing is the practice of looking at the same situation from a new perspective. It's not denial. It's choosing a lens that empowers growth, connection, and trust. Think of it like a picture frame. The photo inside stays the same, but the frame you use can change how you see it. A beautiful frame highlights the photo and makes it even more beautiful. A broken one distracts from it. In life, our perspective is the frame. And reframing changes the way we see the same picture. Here's an example. Imagine you faced a major setback at work, in your health, or anywhere else in your life. You could frame it as a failure and think, I'm just not good enough, I give up. Or you could reframe it as a learning moment, asking, what can I do differently next time? Same situation, but the second frame opens the door to growth. So remember this. The stories we tell ourselves about our lives shape the way we live them. Reframing isn't about changing the facts. It's about choosing a story that empowers us. After my first diagnosis of breast cancer, I found journaling was my outlet for processing and moving past dark days. I filled up at least 6 journals. So now I can look back and see the issues and the perspectives that kept me above it all. When I was very deathly sick after my second chemo, I found it impossible to take care of my kids and remember to also take care of myself. I became dehydrated. I saw my doctor and asked, what else can we do to prevent this next time? I looked for solutions rather than accepting to deal with the negative. I didn't accept the side effects and wallow in the pain. I demanded solutions. I knew there must be more we could do. My doctor admitted me to the hospital and got me on fluids right away. After fluids and antibiotics, I was on the mend. The key takeaway is that reframing changes the story you tell yourself about your life, and those stories shape your reality. Finding the positives in the situation didn't change the magnitude or severity of the situation, but it did help me see the light and know we could prevent this same result next time. Now, why does reframing matter? It matters because it impacts every part of our life. Your growth, your relationships, your ability to trust the process. First, reframing fuels growth. When life feels uncertain, it is natural to think, this is just too much. I can't handle it. But reframing uncertainty as an opportunity changes the game. Think about a seed planted in the soil. To the seed, it's a dark and unknown place. But that's where growth begins. Uncertainty is often where transformation starts. Reframing uncertainty as an opportunity helps you embrace challenges rather than fear them. Does this sound logical? Well, it's more than logical. It's truth, because it's my experience, and I know it can help us thrive. Uncertainty isn't a threat. It's a blank canvas. It's where the seeds of transformation are planted, just like the seeds of a tree or a flower. Ask, what can I learn from this situation? Second, reframing strengthens relationships. I found this out firsthand also. Trauma and pain often isolate us. We tell ourselves, no one understands, or I'm in this all alone. But what if pain could be a bridge instead of a wall? Sharing our struggles can deepen connections. Vulnerability creates community, and reframing the pain can lead to a deeper connection with others. I discovered very quickly that people wanted to help. Friends and family wanted to make life easier for me and my family. I wrote long thank you letters. I offered stories of anguish and heartache, but found the positives so they knew how their contribution helped relieve the pain. Sharing my vulnerability created stronger relationships. Now I'm still surrounded by those same friends. They surprised me with a surprise party when I celebrated my 11th cancerversary last year. Finally, reframing builds trust. Trust isn't about knowing the whole plan or avoiding a hardship. It's about believing that the process, even though it's messy, but believing that it has a purpose. Martin Luther King Jr. said it best, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. When you reframe challenges as steps in your journey, trust becomes a foundation for resilience. Advocating for myself showed me how to trust the process. When things don't go as planned, we must ask many questions and track everything. A very simple healing lesson that I am still learning, but I believe it, is a lesson in serenity, and I know you've heard it, to accept what we cannot change, the courage to focus on what we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. How do we actually reframe? It's a simple process you can start today. It's a skill that we learn. Let me break it into 3 steps. Pause and reflect is step 1. When you face a challenge, stop and ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this? Be honest with yourself. Are you reframing it as failure, loss, or hopelessness? Or can you reframe it? Reflection is the first step to change. For example, if you're facing uncertainty or bad news, you might think, I can't handle this. I'm done. I give up. But what if you paused and asked, is there another way to see this? Choose a new perspective is step 2. When you've identified the story and you've done some reflection, challenge it. Challenge that story. What's another way to look at the situation? Shift your frame from negative to neutral, or even change from negative to positive. Instead of saying, this is happening to me, try, this is happening for me. So what am I going to learn from it? Even if you don't truly believe it yet, choosing a new perspective opens the door for growth. The 3rd step is taking action aligned with that new frame. Reframing isn't just about changing your thoughts. It's about acting in alignment with that new perspective. Take a moment right now to think of one area in your life where you feel stuck. What's the story you're telling yourself? How could you reframe it? If you're comfortable, share your thoughts in the chat, or just reflect to yourself quietly. As we wrap up tonight, I'll recap a little bit. Reframing is a mindset shift. It helps us to see challenges as opportunities, pain as a bridge to some connection or lesson, and uncertainty as a path to growth. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Healing and transformation don't happen overnight. They happen step by step, frame by frame. So here's my challenge for you. What's one area of your life that needs a new frame? What's one step you can take today to reframe it? Your story isn't over. Reframing won't erase the hard parts, and I'm not suggesting that it should, but it will change how you see them. That's what changes your life. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I hope you leave inspired to reframe and take a step toward the life you were meant to live. Even if you're still dealing with a lot of stuff, you can still look at the bright side and learn from your experiences. Look for opportunities. Before we finish, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have a question, drop it in the chat or contact me. I'd love to hear from you. Or take a moment to reflect on this prompt. What would reframing one area of my life look like? You could even journal about that. Thank you again for being here. I appreciate you all so much. You have the power to change your life, one reframe at a time. I'm cheering you on. Have a great evening. Goodbye.